me see.
Brandon, on the broadcast, it showed a little tussle between you and Micah Parsons. Can you share with us how the game played out with you and him?
Um, I mean, just two football players want to win a game. Um, he's a great player, but I won't speak too much on that. That was last week. But yeah, I think we all saw it.
Brandon, that was obviously your first playoff game. What was the experience like? And leading into it, how much did you lean on some of your guys who've been through it and in some of those big games previously?
Yeah, first one, it was awesome. Just the environment, the whole entire week leading up to it, especially the team we were playing, and that being the Cowboys with the history between us and them. So it was very exciting. But just talking to a bunch of guys, talking to Kyle, talking to other guys in our Kyle, Juice, I should say, Juice, other guys who played in those games, but just telling me it's another game, but just worth everything. So not too much had to be said. It was exciting. It was easy to wake up for, easy to wake up throughout the week, and even more so this week.
Brandon, Mike McDaniel's, talked about the importance of just explaining things to you guys so that way, it's not just telling you to do something, like the reason behind it. How important is it to have like a coaching staff that makes it clear, like, hey, this is why you're blocking, gives you sort of the insight behind it? What is that sort of like?
I think that's been huge, especially this year. It's been a lot different out there and going to get your assignment done, but also knowing the reason behind it for why your job is what it is, what you need to do, them telling you what you need to get done and why you need to get it done. So it just makes it a lot easier playing the game for each other. It makes it easier for you to get people open. It makes it easier for you to help out your teammates when you know exactly what they're doing and what you're doing your assignment for.
And obviously, the week three game was a very different time for you and for the team. When you look back at that game and the strides you've made over the season, what stands out to you the most?
A lot, a lot. We watched that game. I've watched that game over. But just the difference between, because I think I watched the Sunday's game or the Dallas game on Sunday, and then I watched the Packers game from week 3 on Monday. And just everybody across the board, just myself, I feel like I was watching the strides, just everything just feels a lot different, looks a lot different. The whole entire unit, offensive unit, just looks a lot better. We all move as one, and just the growth has been crazy just to watch. But we know that we weren't the team that we are now in week 3. But at the same time, we also understand that we have to play that way on Saturday. So, yeah.
Hey, Brandon. Mike McDaniel is obviously a very well-respected coach. He's, interviewing for the Dolphins for their head coaching position, but he's, you know, different in many ways from coaches. Just his personality is a little offbeat. He's not afraid to show his humor. Is he like that with you guys? And I guess how would you describe him, just as a guy?
McDaniel, you're talking about? Yeah, I think once you start to understand him, you start to realize and just see his character and how he is. I think last year I didn't really understand him too much, so sometimes I'll be like, what is he talking about? What is he saying? Is that a joke? Is he being serious? I didn't really know. But this year, talking to him a lot more and getting to know him a lot more, he's a great dude to talk to. Somebody I really trust, somebody I enjoy talking to.
Do these last three for Brandon?
A lot's changed for you guys, obviously, since week 3. What have you seen differently that the Packers might be doing defensively since that game?
Well, we know who they are on defense. We know we talked about them being a little bit of a mix between LA and Dallas. We're gonna get some looks that we've got in the past 2 weeks. So I think it's more about us and how we in our room, how we run, and not even just our room, just the offense in general. Just everybody being on their keys, knowing exactly what to do, and just moving as one. So, like I said, I feel like it's more us than them. And if we do that, I feel like we'll be in great shape.
Yeah, Brandon, of all the positions on the field, wide receiver would seem to be the toughest one to play in bitter cold. So I'm curious as to your experience with that. I don't know if I imagine there was a lot of it at Arizona State, but how do you plan to combat it? Will you wear gloves? I mean, what's your strategy in playing in cold weather?
Well, I mean, before I went to Arizona State, I played football in Reno, Nevada. So at the end of the day, we got to put the ball down and play football. We'll go out there, whether we're not sure exactly what the weather's going to be, whether we have to change the cleats, change out certain things. But we're just going out there expecting to play a football game, and we'll go from there. However the weather acts, however we need to go about it, we'll just adjust and go from there. But right now, we're just expecting to go down there and play a football game. We know we know it's going to be cold, but other than that, it's still football that needs to be played on Saturday.
Brandon, you talked about the environment, how cool it was in Dallas, and just going into the playoffs. What are you expecting to be playing a playoff game in Lambeau? What that atmosphere is going to be like? And have you ever been awestruck going into a stadium and just kind of pinching yourself?
Well, it's going to be awesome. Talking to Wes earlier in the week, he just talks about just even the history that we have with this team too as well. So we're going over to a historic stadium, playing them on Saturday night, a playoff game at Lambeau versus the Packers, Aaron Rodgers, all of them. So we already know what type of game that's going to be. The atmosphere is going to be very exciting. But like I said, it's football. I haven't walked into a stadium yet where I've been struck. But I do look around and just take it all in and just get excited and just stand where my feet are and just look around and just enjoy it and then go play football.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right, guys, we have Charles for you.
I believe this is the first time we've had you on a Zoom. So
yeah,
tell us what it's been like since you've been here, and what was that transition like for you?
Yeah, it's been nothing but good, man. The guys in the D-line accepted me immediately as I got in. It was just learning, obviously, the system. Learning the system didn't take me long. It was more so learning the techniques of the system. First time being a very wide nine kind of attack kind of scheme, so it was a little bit different to get certain kind of habits out the way and then learn how to rush and play in this system, being on the outside. So learning the scheme wasn't hard, but adjusting to how to play in the scheme was a little bit of a challenge.
How have you liked being utilized in that wide nine role? You know, when you look at the advanced stats and stuff, your win rates and stuff are actually pretty high, that I think goes unnoticed. Do you feel like this system gives you a better opportunity?
Yeah, it allows me. I remember when I first got here and Chris was telling me that this system will allow me to use my explosion, my length, and my power more, because you get a build-up to the tackles. And using my arm length, power, and strength that I have, it's allowed me to be able to move guys easier, allowed for my power to show more, so anytime I do use an outside rush, it's more effective. So it's been good. Definitely like it.
Charles, with Nick Bosa going out at the half last game, didn't seem like the defensive line skipped a beat at all. What was the mood like when you guys talked on the sidelines? What was kind of the focus point on the second half?
I mean, just it's a playoff game, so regardless of who's out there, you got to do your job. You got to execute. You got to make plays. I would remember I had talked to the guys on Saturday, and I said big-time players make big-time plays in big-time games. So if you out there and playing, that's the kind of mold that you got to fit in no matter who's out there.
Charles, what's the biggest difference between, whatever, I guess, just kind of pops to your mind, but with the two organizations, Houston and the 49ers, what's the biggest difference you found with the 49ers?
A lot more structure. The leadership between the coach and the GM, it doesn't seem like it's a power struggle. It's very like they're on the same page. They have an understanding of what they want. They make it very clear of what they want from GM to head coach, from head coach to the position coaches. And it's not like it's not a circus show here. You guys definitely have things down packed, and you know what you want at the players. The coaches know the expectations, and it's sought out and said. And it's not a lot of switching guys from being a starter, not being a starter. Like, I mean, you understand what you're doing here, and you just get it done.
Charles, this is a place that they've invested a lot in their front line, and obviously the front four is asked to do a lot and basically not blitzing much and all that. How much is that kind of ingrained in you right away? Like, the expectation is that you guys are going to kind of set the tone for the entire defense?
Yeah, I mean, Chris always says to try and put the D-line has to put the defense and the organization on our back, and you just got guys that understand that. And then also, but it's not just the D-line. I mean, you got the DBs and linebackers who are covering, man, and it's a very, very good scheme here. But, I mean, the players make the things go, and the guys in the back end definitely do their job at a high level. It makes it easier for the D-line.
Hey, Charles, I believe you faced Aaron Rodgers last year.
Mm-hmm.
And so what were your takeaways from that? What are your preparations looking like this week in terms of facing him? How fast you guys got to get to the ball?
Yeah, I played against the Packers last year, obviously with Houston. You gotta get there, and when you do get there, you gotta secure him. I had one play where I got him, grabbed him by the jersey, trying to grab him through. He got the ball away. I had another rush inside, beat the guy clean, and I mean his back foot hit, and he threw that ball. I think it was to Devonta Adams on the back shoulder. So when you win, you gotta get there. I mean, you gotta secure him. He's gonna try and get the ball out. Gotta rush smart and understand that you can't get frustrated because you will get the ball off fast sometimes. When opportunity hits, you gotta make the most of it.
Charles, two questions for you. Since Trey Lance is playing Aaron Rodgers in practice, how did he look doing that this week? And then also, Arden Key kind of felt like it was a breath of fresh air to get to the 49ers. Did you kind of feel that same kind of rejuvenation when you got to the 49ers?
Trey's always done well since I've been here as far as giving us a look. I knew Trey kind of before I got here, so always had a lot of respect for him, and you know, he's a top draft pick, and he's doing like the little dirty unseen work as a top pick, you know, and with no complaint at all. So very, very big shout out for him. And then, yeah, definitely a breath of fresh air for sure. This year has been a long year for me personally in my third year. My third year didn't go as far as early on how I thought it would be coming off my second year. And, I mean, just a combination of what I was going through over there. So coming here was definitely a breath of fresh air. I love it. The organization like I said, has a lot of structure. This is not an ego-driven kind of organization. It's not a power struggle either. So it's definitely good to experience that.
Last one, Jen?
Where did you know Trey Lance from? What kind of relationship did you have with him before?
So his quarterback coach, Quincy Avery, I know him because he works with a lot of guys that my agent has, and just being around. So.
All right, thank you, Charles.
Appreciate y'all.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Last but not least.
Howdy.
Hey, George, this might be a stupid question, but there are no stupid questions, right?
We're going to find out.
There we go. The fact that you got, I mean, it would seem to me perhaps a game you've got a kind of a banged up quarterback and a rookie backup, and you might want to lean on the ground game. It's not the first time, you've kind of been in this situation before. I'm sure the Packers have an idea of that, but it seems like the multiplicity of your guys' run game allows you to still have success when they know you're going to run. They just don't know how you're going to run. Is that accurate?
Huh. It's quite the question from the UPS guy. Wow. I think our coaches do a fantastic job with our run game. We do a whole bunch of stuff. We attack defenses in a bunch of different ways, whether it's with tight ends, wide receivers, fullbacks, running backs. Everybody has a chance to carry the ball. And just the way that they set them up, all of our runs kind of set up each other with all the motions and the stuff to distract the linebackers, the DBs. But, it allows us to run the ball against looks that maybe is not a favorable, look to run against. And we've been doing it, I feel like ever since, we've been here since 2017. And the run game just continually evolves and evolves and evolves. And I think it's at a spot right now where we can kind of run against anything. And that's kind of what our goal is, which I appreciate.
This will also test the limits of stupid questions or not. But following up on that, you mentioned being able to run against different looks. The Packers, at least statistically, have lighter boxes than most teams in the league. What are the challenges or differences in running against teams that maybe put 8 up there against you guys, or maybe just 6, as the Packers seem to do often?
The challenges?
What's different about it?
It doesn't really matter, what look we get. We've ran against, 60 linemen. We've ran against 40 linemen on the ball. We run against, really, like you said, 8 in the box. We have plays that can attack any look. That's something that we've had to figure out. We've had games where, like, started 2020, first game of the season, Cardinals came out with 6 down linemen. And that was something that we had not expected. But at this point in our season, in the last 2 years, we've kind of gotten every single look, and teams seem to play us with every single look. And so that's kind of what we prep for every single week. So we have a team that can run a vast amount of plays against basically against any look. And that's why we're so efficient at our run game, because we practice against all the looks so that when we get them, we're not really surprised. We can play fast, we can play physical, and then we give our best players the ball to run with, and they find the openings. And, that's how we score all those touchdowns. We get all those yards after contact. It's because we practice against so many looks all the time. And that's just kind of a shout out to our coaches for giving us those looks.
Hey, George, self-assessment, how much has your offense changed from week 3? And then also, how much has the Green Bay Packers defense changed from week 3, since that was last time you guys faced off?
That's a twofer right there, Jennifer. That's crazy. Wow. Just all the hard-hitting questions. I would say that our offense, I think the biggest thing that's changed about our offense is I think we have a kind of a different identity than we did back then. Obviously Debo's running the ball a lot more, but I would say this on top of that, if you go back and watch that game, we were kind of sloppy all over the field, whether it was protections, whether it was a run game, targeting. We were still trying to find our footing. We still made it a really good game there at the end until, last second field goal. And I think we're a much better team now than we were then. I think from all the ups and the downs, the wins, the losses, all the adversity that we've faced as an offense, all the game-winning drives we've had to, come on and, just to give ourselves a chance to get into the playoffs has allowed us to become a way better team. And their defense, I think that they're healthier. They have more guys back. They have some of their star players back that, have missed a lot of games. So that's going to be very beneficial to them. But the thing that they do really well, they know how to play. They know how to play together. They're very good at their scheme. They're not out of position very often, and they're physical defense too. And they're used to playing in Lambeau, whether it's December, January. They're used to playing there, and I don't know if that really gives them advantage over us because weather's weather. Unless it's like a rainstorm like it was against Indianapolis, I don't know how much the cold's going to affect it that much other than just being cold. So looking forward to that, but it's going to be a very fun game to go against them.
Speaking of the cold, and I apologize, but as someone who played a lot of football in Iowa, do you have any tips that you give your teammates on ways to kind of forget about the cold or not make it as big a deal as everyone's making it?
I've played in some really cold games before. I think the coldest one we played was like minus 28 degrees with wind chill. That was really fun. My key to staying warm is just to play a lot of snaps, and so you keep your blood going. The heated seats and the heaters on the sideline are probably really nice. But hey, it's football. You can't really use the cold as an excuse. You just got to go out there and perform at a high level. I think it's just going to be really fun. It's just a little bit more adversity for us to try to battle through.
George, how did some first-time playoff guys like Brandon Aiyuk and Elijah Mitchell do with the environment in Dallas, and how does that prepare them for, what could be an overwhelming scene Saturday night when you're in Green Bay, primetime game in the cold in a historic venue?
I thought all of our guys did a fantastic job of rising to the occasion. Dallas was a very hostile environment. I thought our Niners faithful did a fantastic job of showing up and showing out. But, it was a loud stadium. They have plenty of fans there. Got really loud there, especially at the end of the game when, they made it a comeback. But I didn't really see anyone flinch. It's like I said, we've gone through a lot as a team this year. We've dealt with a lot of wins and a lot of losses, a lot of tough losses. But, we always continue to, come right back, and we keep swinging, keep throwing punches. And Lambeau's going to be awesome. Historic stadium. Haven't played there since 2018. Very excited to go there. It's really kind of a dream come true. So looking forward to that experience to play a night playoff game at Lambeau, 0 degrees. What more can you ask for?
We got time for 3 more, guys?
George, I want to hear more about the -28 game. Where was it? When was it? And what do you remember about it?
I think that was 2012 season or 2013 season versus Michigan. I think that's what it was. I think it was a wind chill in Kinnick Stadium. I don't know if we won that game. No, actually, what was it? It was 2013. Michigan played us at Kinnick. I think it was like -28 with the wind chill, though. Super fun, very cold. I've played in a couple below 10, below like 15 degrees games, and it's very fun, like I said. But I had a couple games. I remember my redshirt freshman year, I didn't play, but I had to dress, and they didn't have enough coats for everybody, so I literally stood there on the sideline, and I wasn't allowed to wear sleeves either. So you just see like the 215-pound George Kittle standing there on the sideline shivering. It was really fun, just standing in front of a heater trying not to get frostbite. So that's like the worst way to play in sub-zero games. But if you're actually on the field, you warm up pretty quick, and as long as you're not sitting for too long, you stay pretty warm.
George, wondering what the vibe is like in the locker room right now. Are you guys super hyped up and energetic? Is it more quiet and focused, or somewhere in between, something different?
Consistent to what it has been all year. Guys have energy. Guys are excited that we're playing football, and we're not on vacation. This is a team that wants to play football, and the fact that we've earned another opportunity to play. Guys, like I said, they're consistent. We're enjoying ourselves. We're listening to music. Guys are excited to practice. Guys are healthy. It's kind of fun just to feel the vibe of the locker room, and we're not making anything up. We're just doing the same things that we've been doing and continuing to try to play football at a high level.
George, Jimmy had mentioned when he got hurt in Tennessee that he knew he was a little bit banged up and the cameras would focus on him, so he kind of just played it off. Obviously, he got hurt in Dallas and played through it. What do you appreciate most about his toughness and battling through the way he does?
It's football. You get banged up all the time. You land weird and you get hit weird. And, a lot of people, you wouldn't be this far into your career if you just kind of said, I got to tap out, I'm sore, or that hurt a little bit too much. Football's a tough sport. You have to grind through things. You just kind of have to bite the bullet and say, this is going to really suck for the rest of the game or maybe the rest of the season, but I'm just going to deal with it. Jimmy could have, easily he had, with his thumb, he could have tapped out and said, hey, I can't go anymore. You guys are on your own, but he didn't. He, took a week off and then came back and has played at a very high level since. And so, that's what you appreciate about him. He doesn't give up, just keeps grinding. And, he's continually leading this team to victories and giving us opportunities to play more football.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Goodbye.